Where in the Raleigh area would we choose to live? Today we're going to be talking about some of our favorite spots in the area and where we would choose to live if anything was different. Stick around.
All right, one of the questions we get from folks is, where do you live? And we're not going to tell you exactly where we live because that's kind of creepy, but we will tell you that we do live in Durham County. And we live in Durham County mainly because Cindy's family is close by, and it's just a huge help when you have kids to have grandparents close by. And it's just a good thing for the kids in general. But if we didn't have family nearby, would we live in Durham County? And I think the answer is largely no. And so this list that we're going to build out today is basically where would we live if we didn't have family close by. So hopefully it will help those of you who are looking to move into the area and trying to rank necessarily the towns that you're looking at. And I think if we had to pick an area, the top area that we'd move to, Cary would be the first spot.
Yep. And I mean, this is you're probably like, oh, I could have told you that from Google, because everything you Google when you're thinking about relocating is how great Cary is. And it has that reputation for a reason. It really is an awesome space, especially if you're moving here with kids, just because there is so
and that's
much
really,
with parks.
so to be fair, that's the lens we're looking at this through is with kids. Where would we live? We're going to do a segment at the very end. If you stick to the end, we'll do a segment on where would we live if we didn't have kids. We're just going to do one location for that. But anyway, back.
Yeah. So Cary would definitely probably be our top spot if we didn't have grandparents that were already in Durham County. And all this to say, there is absolutely nothing wrong with Durham County. We're just thinking through hey, where might be more convenient for us in our job as real estate agents? We are traveling all around the triangle all the time. And for us, it would probably make more sense to be a little more centrally located. And Cary is kind of just right in the middle of everything. It's super easy to get to Raleigh. It's super easy to get to Durham. So work-wise, this would be a good location for us. And secondly, having kids, there's great schools in Cary. There's amazing parks, and they're constantly adding to their park system and renovating the playground structures and things that are there, which is just really nice when you've got little kids and you're spending a lot of time at those kind of places.
Yeah, absolutely. I think convenience is a big thing, whether it's location-wise, access to Raleigh, access to Durham, and just convenience in general to your daily necessities. Cary has a lot of access to various shopping centers, and so you're not driving very far to get what you need. If you need dog food and you realize that at 8 p.m. and your dog hasn't eaten all day, then you don't want
to choose where to live based on access to dog food.
No, I'm just saying like you don't want to have to drive 20 minutes, 30 minutes to the grocery store to get it. And so little things like that, and Cary excels at that.
Yeah, for sure. There's a lot of great shopping there. You've got Waverly Place, you have the Fenton, downtown Cary's really nice. There's a great new park down there, and they're also doing some more renovations to the downtown area, breaking ground hopefully this year. So I think just in general, Cary already feels very established, yet it's also somehow up and coming, which is weird, to put both of those in the same thing, but they just do a great job keeping up with their population size and all of that. So you really can't go wrong with Cary.
Yeah. All right, the second area that would be on our short list to live would be North Raleigh. And the reason to be North Raleigh, not South Raleigh, really just has to do with convenience. North Raleigh is just located in a more convenient area in relation to Durham and in relation to places like the airport. And so some of that has to do with where the airport is, but some of it also has to do with highway access. So the highway access in North Raleigh is just a little bit better than it is currently in South Raleigh.
Yeah, and some of that's going to change as things continue to get built up with highway access. But in general, we find ourselves on the north side of Raleigh a pretty decent amount of the time, and we just kind of like the feel of North Raleigh. There's a lot of nice established neighborhoods, a good amount of neighborhoods that still have a decent amount of trees, which is something that's really important to us. I could never live in a clear-cut neighborhood, so finding somewhere that's got some trees and shade is important to me because our kids love to play outside. And North Raleigh does also have a ton of access to greenway trails, parks, playgrounds. You have over 100 miles of greenway trail all throughout Raleigh, and being in North Raleigh, you just have really good access to a good chunk of those. You've got Umstead State Park on that side of town, and just some really cool playgrounds like the Sassafras Playground. I mentioned this in some of our other videos. It's one of our kids' favorites. It's really a neat little spot. Not to say there's anything wrong with the south side of Raleigh, but I think for us and our workload, it would just make more sense to be on the north side.
Yeah, and then in terms of shopping, I know we mentioned that with Cary. There's just a lot of access to, again, your daily necessities on the north side of Raleigh, whether it's small shopping centers or malls. Like North Raleigh has that, whereas South Raleigh doesn't quite have that yet, at least to that same level.
Yeah.
And it's probably several years out from ever producing that kind of commercial development.
Yeah, for sure.
By the way, if you're thinking about making a move to one of these areas, you can find our contact info below. We'd love to chat with you. Also, make sure to subscribe, like the video, and leave us a comment below.
So next up on our list would be Wake Forest. Wake Forest is kind of special to us because Zach actually lived there before we got married. So the whole time that we were dating, I was in Durham, he was in Wake Forest, so we spent a good amount of time kind of commuting between the two towns. But, you know, we just really like Wake Forest. It's beautiful. There's a lot of nature access in Wake Forest. You've got like the Falls Lake Reservoir. You've got Joyner Park, which is huge, one of our favorite parks in the Triangle. It's good for adults and kids alike with how much paved space there is and just like open fields. It's just a really nice place to like decompress, go have a picnic, take a walk, or you can go to the playground at Rec Center there with little ones. You know, they have a ton of commercial space that's really been added in like the last 5 years or so. Like you have access to anything you would really need. You know, aside from, you know, work-wise might not make the most sense to live in Wake Forest for us because it does feel a little bit more isolated, even though you still have all the convenience of having stuff right there. It definitely feels more isolated from the rest of Raleigh and Durham and, you know, Apex and Cary. You can start like having a bit of a longer commute, and the traffic can be a little congested on some of those main roads through there. But, you know, the little downtown there is so cute, the historic downtown, and you've got Southeastern, the college that sits there, that just is so peaceful and stuff to walk through. That really just makes Wake Forest feel special, kind of like out of a Hallmark movie.
All right, up next on the list is Holly Springs. So Holly Springs is one of our favorite areas, and I think a lot of it has to do with some of the neighborhoods that are in Holly Springs. There's just a ton of really great neighborhoods with great amenities. There's easy shopping access. I say easy. You know, Holly Springs is going to have some of the same struggles that Wake Forest has, as far as, I think, like the road system. Some of them aren't great for the growth that's come in those areas.
Yeah, can feel a bit congested.
Yeah, but in general, like it's easy access to shopping. It's easy access to other parts of the Triangle, especially with the new 540 section that cuts through there. It used to literally stop at Holly Springs, but now it continues on almost to the Clayton side. And so there's great access on that side as far as highway goes.
Yeah, and some of those neighborhoods Zach was mentioning, what we like about them. I think that there's just something about the neighborhoods in Holly Springs that have like this resort feel to them, like the fun element of a resort, not like a snobby way, but like the pools are just really nice. You have some good parks there, and they're continuing to add to their trail system and stuff in Holly Springs. So I just think, as far as like from raising a family perspective, it could be really fun living in some of those neighborhoods. If you are like I want to get to know my neighbors and have a lot to do in my community, you probably can't find a better place than to find like an abundance of neighborhoods like that than the Holly Springs area.
Exactly.
All right, so we have been looking at this through the lens of having kids and being a parent and places that we would go. But what if, let's say we never had kids and we decided we wanted to move somewhere around the Triangle? Where would we go as people who maybe would have a lot more free time on our hands to go and explore and go out to eat more often, go to shows, things like that?
You don't have to rub it in.
Yeah. You know, things that we would do if we didn't have kids, and we'll do in about 20 more years. You know, I think we would probably stay in Durham. You know, we're in Durham now, but maybe we're on the county side,
so
it's a little more on the rural part.
But...
Yeah, we're not going anywhere. Don't worry, Mom and Dad. But yeah, so I think we would probably move a little closer into like one of the downtown neighborhoods and be really close to all that, because the DPAC is incredible. Love going to shows there. Yeah, I mean, in another life, we would like go to every show at the DPAC and all of the Durham Bulls baseball games. I feel like there's just such a fun scene to be had in the downtown Durham area, and so many good restaurants.
Yeah, I mean, if we had to like nail it down to specific neighborhoods like the Walltown, Trinity Park, Trinity Heights area, some of those are going to keep you close to like the 9th Street area and some of the shops and restaurants and that on that side. Some are going to put you close to like the kind of the part of downtown where the old ballpark is, and some of the new like the what is it, Barks Yard, arcade or whatever that one bar is.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Okay.
places we've never been because we don't have time to go. But like it keeps you close to those areas. I think, you know, if you don't have kids and you have a little more free time, like those are really cool places to live close to. And so I think without question, when we were thinking through the list of where we would live if we didn't have kids, downtown Durham is probably, in my opinion, not just on the top of the list, but probably the only one on the list.
Yeah, I mean, I think we like Raleigh too. There might be parts of Raleigh, and even without kids, I think living in Cary or Holly Springs in those areas could still be really nice. But I think in general, when you think of what do you want to do with your free time, that's where you really have to decide, like, which town is a good fit for us. Right now, our free time is not really free. It's just spent chasing our kids around. And so going places that have a lot of access to parks and things like that is more ideal. However, if I didn't have kids, those things probably wouldn't be as important to me, unless I was, you know, more of like a trail runner or something like that. But I think that would just be our interest level we would probably feel more happy being close to Durham. So just a lot of great things around the area, and there's not one town that's the best. You know, all of these are deeply personal decisions, and you really have to come and spend some time in the area to get a feel, because each of these towns feels very distinctly unique from the other.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we are Zach and Cindy Honeycutt. We are a couple real estate agents in the area. So if you are looking to buy or sell, we'd love to be your real estate resource of choice. You can find our contact info below, and you can also find us on Instagram.
Yep, we'd love to have you follow along. You can follow us at the Honeycutt Realtors, or you can reach out on our second page, the RDU Buzz, where we kind of go over restaurants and parks and things going on in the area if you're local here. So definitely follow along on both.
Yep, and we'll see y'all next time.